TypeScript can warn you about unsafe code, but it cannot automatically understand every value at runtime. In this video, we will fix that with 13 practical type guard examples you can use in real projects. Let's turn unknown and complex data into safe, predictable code. Let's begin with two built-in checks that make union types safe. We will narrow primitive values with typeof, then remove null before accessing an object. Product APIs sometimes mix numeric database IDs with string skews. Let's accept both types and use typeof to choose the safe formatting logic. Now we run the script and see a normalized SQU followed by a padded numeric ID. Let's break down why this works. Inside the string branch, TypeScript allows string methods such as to uppercase because that branch returns. The final return only has to handle a number. Now let's capture the best practice. Use typeof for primitive unions such as string, number, and boolean because the compiler understands those checks directly. For null, use a separate comparison because JavaScript reports typeof null as object. A user lookup can fail without throwing an error, so its result may be null. Let's check that case explicitly before reading the email property. When we run the script, the existing user prints an address and the null result prints a clear fallback. Let's break down the narrowing. The comparison removes null from the union, so user is a complete user inside the first branch. The early return also leaves one obvious path for the missing user message. Now let's show the safer general rule. Prefer an explicit null comparison when other falsy values could be legitimate data. This makes the missing case precise and communicates exactly what the function expects. Next, we will narrow values without accidentally rejecting valid data. We will preserve 0 with a nullish check and use strict equality to identify exact application states. A 0% discount is still a real value, but a truthiness check treats it as missing. Let's run the same inputs through a truthy implementation and a nullish implementation. The output exposes the bad 0 case, then shows that the corrected check preserves it. Let's break down the difference. JavaScript considers 0 falsy, so the first function sends it into the missing branch. The loose null check is intentional here. It removes both null and undefined without removing 0. Now let's show the best choice for optional numeric data. Use a nullish check when only null and undefined mean missing. This pattern also protects valid false values and empty strings in similar unions. A request can only be idle, loading, successful, or failed, so freeform strings would be unnecessarily unsafe. Let's model those choices as a literal union and select a message with strict equality. Now we run all 4 states and get one distinct message for each. Let's break down why every branch is type safe. Comparing with a literal tells TypeScript the exact status inside that branch. Once idle, loading, and success have returned, the final path must represent error. Now, let's show the preferred pattern for finite workflows. Define the allowed states as a literal union and compare them with strict equality. This prevents misspelled states from entering the function and keeps every branch predictable. Primitive checks are not enough for every union. Now we will distinguish object shapes by testing for a property that belongs to one notification type. An alert service may receive either an email notification or an SMS notification. Let's inspect the object for the email property before choosing its destination field. When we run the script, each notification is routed to the correct address. Let's break down what TypeScript learns from this check. If email exists, the value matches email notification and its email field is safe to read. After that branch returns, only SMS notification remains, so the phone field is safe. Now let's show when this pattern is reliable. Check a property that genuinely separates the union members, such as email versus phone here. If the same optional property can appear on both types, the check may not narrow the value as precisely as expected. We will start with an object guard that works with real runtime classes. This lets a checkout workflow distinguish a custom payment failure from an ordinary error. A checkout can fail with a payment-specific error or a regular system error, while a catch variable should remain unknown. We create a payment error carrying a transaction ID, then narrow each caught value with intlinkceased before accessing its properties. Now we run the script and see one detailed payment failure followed by one generic error. Let us break down why this works. The first check confirms that the value has payment error in its prototype chain, so transaction ID and message are safe to read. The second branch accepts any remaining error instance without pretending that it has payment-specific data. Now let us show the best practice for this guard. Use index when values are genuine instances created by runtime classes, especially for errors and domain objects. Interfaces and parsed JSON disappear at runtime, so validate their properties instead. External data should not become trusted just because JSON parse succeeded. Next, we will narrow an unknown value one safe layer at a time. API JSON can parse successfully and still contain the wrong types. We store the result as unknown, rule out null, confirm that it is an object, check for name, and finally require a string. Now we run both payloads. Ada passes every guard, while the numeric name is rejected. Let us break down the sequence. We cannot safely use the in operator until null is removed and the value is confirmed as an object. After the string check, TypeScript knows that value name supports the string operation used by the template. Now let us show the safest boundary for untrusted data. Keep API responses and parsed JSON typed as unknown until every property needed by the current operation has been checked. A successful parse only proves valid JSON syntax, not a valid application model. Repeated validation becomes easier to maintain when it has a name and a precise type predicate. We will build one predicate for configuration data and another for filtering an array. Configuration objects often arrive from a file or API without a trustworthy type. We create isappconfig with a type predicate and validate both host and port before connecting. Now we run the script. The numeric port is accepted, while the string port produces an invalid configuration message. Let us break down what the special return type means. The guard performs normal JavaScript checks at runtime, and the value is appconfig annotation tells TypeScript what a true result proves. That is why host and port are available without an assertion inside the connection branch. Now let us show the best way to design a predicate. Every true result must fully justify the type in its signature, so this guard checks both required properties and their primitive types. A partial check would make unsafe data look trusted everywhere the predicate is used. A batch loader may return a real user or null for each failed record. We define isUser and pass it directly to filter, then map the narrowed result without assertions. Now we run the script and only Ada and Linus remain, giving us a valid count of 2. Let us break down the important result. Since isUser explicitly proves that a surviving element is a user, filter returns user array instead of the original union array. The map callback therefore receives a user and can read name safely. Now let us show the better pattern for mixed arrays. Use a named predicate when the same narrowing rule belongs in filter, because it documents the check and gives the result an accurate type. Avoid casting with as, which changes TypeScript's belief without removing invalid values at runtime. Related object variants become safer when they share one literal discriminator. Our final example models API success and failure without ambiguous optional fields. Optional data and error properties make API handling easy to misuse. We model 2 complete result variants and give each one a unique status literal. Then branch on that field. Now we run the script and get a record count for success, plus the correct message for failure. Let us break down why this model is precise. When status equals success, TypeScript selects success result and exposes data. Otherwise, it selects error result and exposes error. Each branch represents a complete valid state, so no assertion or optional property check is needed. Now let us show the best structure for related variants. Give every member one required discriminator with a unique literal value such as success and error. This makes narrowing predictable and prevents objects that mix incompatible fields. Discriminated unions make event-driven code safer by connecting every event name to one exact payload shape. Let's use a switch to narrow several nested payloads without casts. Event-driven applications often receive messages with completely different payloads. We define one variant per event and connect them through the type field. Inside the switch, TypeScript knows the exact nested payload available in every case. Now let's run the script and process one event of each type. Let's break down why this works. The type property is a literal discriminator, so each matching case narrows the complete event object. That is why user ID, amount, and tracking number are available only in their correct branches, with no typecasts. Now let's show the best way to model these messages. Keep every payload connected to its literal event type and use a union of complete variants. Apply this pattern to event buses, reducers, and message handlers, so impossible field combinations cannot enter the model. Assertion functions validate unknown data and narrow it for every statement that follows. They are useful at boundaries where invalid input must stop execution immediately. A CLI token may arrive from configuration as an unknown value, but the protected operation requires a real string. We create an assertion function that throws for every other type and narrows the token after a successful check. Then we try one valid token and one number, catching the expected failure. Let's run the script and inspect both paths. Let's break down the result. The first value passes validation, so TypeScript and the runtime both treat it as a string and print its uppercase form. The number fails immediately and the caught error explains exactly which input was invalid. Now let's show when this is the best approach. Use assertion functions at controlled boundaries such as configuration loading, CLI startup, or validated infrastructure adapters. They fit situations where continuing with invalid data would be unsafe, while recoverable user input should usually return a normal validation result instead. A union often grows as an application evolves, and an ordinary switch can silently miss a new member. A never-based check turns that omission into a compiler error. A geometry service already handles circles, rectangles, and triangles, but the domain now gains a square. We add square to the union and intentionally leave the switch unchanged, because the default branch requires never. TypeScript can see that square remains unhandled. Let's compile this version and look at the diagnostic. Let's break down the compiler error. After the first three cases are removed from the union, the remaining value in the default branch is still a square. A square cannot be passed to a parameter that accepts only never, so the compiler identifies the missing handler before this code reaches production. Now let's fix the error by adding the missing square case and calculating its area from the side length. The default branch becomes unreachable again, so shape narrows correctly to never. We will run every supported variant and confirm that each one produces an area. Now let's show the best long-term pattern and important union switches with an assert never call, so every future domain variant forces an explicit implementation decision. Use it in pricing, permissions, workflow states, and other code where silently ignoring a new case would be dangerous. You now have 13 practical ways to narrow types and remove unsafe assumptions from TypeScript code. Like the video, subscribe to Dev Level Up, and tell me in the comments which TypeScript example or topic you want to see next.